Hey folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for a special brew. So Bjorn challenged me to build a blue-white painter deck list, which is something that doesn't really exist right now. And given my success with Painter recently, I figured that I was up to the challenge. Huge shout-outs to the Painter Discord, in particular Eddie the Intern, for helping me put this list together. So when you play a multicolored painter build, generally speaking, the advantage that you gain is that you get to attack from more angles. So in this deck list, we're basing the shell roughly on the mono white painter list that I 5-0'd with. And that really took advantage of Oswald Fiddlebender, which is basically an artifact birthing pod. And when you have the ability to just transform one of your artifacts into another slightly bigger artifact, you gain a lot of utility. Now, normally, the core of the Painter deck list is Painter Servant, which lets you change all the cards to a color of your choice, and then Grindstone. And you go and you name a color, let's say we name black, and then Grindstone infinitely mills out your opponent because they just have all of the colors, all of the cards match colors. And in this deck list, we are going to have the ability to draw some extra cards with Esper Sentinel. We are going to have Urza's Saga, which has a twofold purpose. Number one, killing our opponent, and number two, just finding the Grindstone, making it so we effectively have 8 copies of Grindstone in this deck. We're very, very consistently going to just have access to that card. So basically, any hand with Painter is going to be able to just get a turn 3 Goldfish most of the time. And then, number 3, we're going to have some other top-end stuff that just makes us annoying to deal with. You're going to have Master of Ethereum as something that we can get with Oswald Fiddlebender that is going to be just the size of an Urza Saga Construct token. We are going to have Emry, and this is one of the biggest appeals of blue, which is going to allow us to recur our things from the graveyard, sort of like the red version can do with their Goblin Welders. And we can also just get card advantage by playing random stuff out of our graveyard that our opponents have destroyed or otherwise countered. At the lower end, this means that I can just recycle Lotus Petals, but at the higher end, this means my Grindstones and Painter Servants and such are coming back. I don't think we want to max out on Emry. You'll notice there aren't things like Baubles in this deck list. We want this as not like a turn 1 draw most of the time. We want this on a turn 4 or turn 5, where our opponent has answered some stuff, and now we say okay, have a removal spell, or I get my other combo piece back. We also have a few pieces of utility in the deck list, like Aethersworn Canonist for the combo deck lists, and Ingenious Smith as another threat that grows while also giving some card advantage. This card was sometimes a little bit clunky to get into play in the Mono White League that I played, but it was pretty good once it was in play. I last minute added an Aether Vial into this deck list over a Lotus Petal under the rationale that sometimes I might get stuck with a bunch of stuff in my hand, and fishing that off of Urza's Saga can be really important in some niche scenarios. As far as the sideboard goes, a lot of this is just Oswald Fiddlebender tutor targets. Torpor Orb, Ensnaring Bridge, and Crucible of Worlds being the most important of those. There is a Soul Guide Lantern in the sideboard. It's really important that we have access to some sort of effect of this nature, because we play against something like Cloud Post. We need to be able to Painter combo off through an Eldrazi. And then we have a few things for the blue matchups that just make us attack from one more annoying angle. We get the ability to shut off cantrips via Hull Breacher, and we get the ability to shut off counter spells and just bounce problematic permanents via Teferi. So I think that while this deck list might look like it's kind of all over the place, I think it's all over the place in a good way. We're just attacking from so many different angles, which all overlap with each other ever so slightly. I think this is going to be a pretty good league, and I've 5-0'd with Painter many times. Let's see if I can do it again. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, and if you're a regular, throw me a like before we begin, and if there's anything interesting you want to talk about the deck, leave me a comment. Those are the things that support my content for free. Let's battle, and if you like this deck list, check out the video description for my donation information and this deck list itself. Okay, I've kept an opening hand here that, while it's not particularly combo-oriented, this is an insane value-oriented hand. So like I'm very good with where this hand stands against non-combo decks. Oh, don't do it to me dirty like that right after I say that. Oh, yeah, sure, that's fine. I need to check real quick. Do I have game 1 graveyard hate? I don't think so. No, I don't. Okay. So I will look ultimately to combo my opponent here. I think that means playing an Ingenious Smith this turn. I think I'm going to go Urza Saga, Ingenious Smith, and use that to look for Painter. Grindstone is not what I'm looking for. How do I want to play this instead? I can get Grindstone. Next turn, play Grindstone and Fiddlebender, and then work on Welding. Or I can just get Seat of the Synod and say, like, I am going to stabilize the board with large construct tokens. Yeah, I think I'm going to get Seat. Play out my Mox Opal so I can grow the Ingenious Smith. I only get that ability once a turn. I will not make this attack here. Because once I get things bigger than 8/8s, I'm actually in pretty good shape unless my opponent combo mills me. Which they would not be able to do particularly quickly. Okay, no cards into hand with that ability. What's an Undead Butcher? Butler. Mill 3 cards. When it dies, you can exile it. If you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Neat. So my opponent has an Anger in play, but no Mountain yet. Okay. A new Esper Sentinel. I will play a land. That triggers Ingenious Smith. Again, this is only a once per turn thing. What about playing Fiddlebender and Esper Sentinel this turn? Play Fiddlebender, Esper Sentinel, have 5 total mana next turn. Fiddlebender, Esper Sentinel into Painter. That's 1 mana. Activate Grindstone for 3 mana. Okay, that's just going to be a better line. Gives up some Urza's Saga value and some Ingenious Smith value. But just kills my opponent. And I guess I should respect just killing my opponent. I am not going to take any attacks here, since I know that I have my opponent dead next turn. What are we doing? It's a Bloodghast, sure. Okay. Opponent's start was quite slow. So if I spend 3 mana to get a construct, I do not have 3. Actually, I do. 1, 2, 3. I do have enough mana to still... No, I have to activate Oswald Fiddlebender. Okay, so I will float a colorless here. Right. Grab Grindstone. Throw that. Fetch a Tundra. Do some Fiddlebending. Grab a Painter. Let's go everything red. Activate Grindstone. Yeah. This is what I mean about attacking from multiple different angles. Like, in this game, I could have, like, very easily just chosen to, like, outsize my opponent's creatures and, like, gotten a Shadow Spear here. And then, like, combo aside, I still would have been in good shape. I have a handful of things I'm probably going to want to sideboard. I have a lot of things I can sideboard. So, like, of the things I can sideboard, Leyline, Portable Hole, Ensnaring Bridge, Soul Guide Lantern, even Pithing Needle can come in. Pithing Needle is specifically so I don't get milled out, but it's kind of a weak option otherwise. I don't see myself wanting an Aether Vial here. I have a main deck Pithing Needle. I don't need a second one then. I probably don't need a Spellskite here. Not like it has no text, but it's pretty slow. I don't super need to recur stuff with Emry. I think those can go here. Anarchist is weird because it's not great except at stopping them combo off, which is like something that does matter. I'll probably keep most or all of them though. I'll need 3 cuts though. I will probably cut 1 Smith. I will probably junk 1 Grindstone here. I still just have 7 functional copies plus a few things that help me find them. I could not play the second Portable Hole. Also just get rid of the Retrofitter Foundry. That's one of the things that helps me go wide and make my constructs larger than an 8/8. I just cut 1 slower card. Yes. Absolutely yes. Well. What do we have here? So, a Force of Vigor from my opponent is really awkward for me. I have a turn 3 Goldfish with this hand. But it might be better to just play Esper Sentinel on turn 1 anyway, because of how good Force of Vigor is against my current situation. I think if I were to play Grindstone and then get like Grindstone and Leyline of the Void Force of Vigor, it would just be horrendous for me. How does he know? How does he know to play around this? How is he so smart and sexy? I know you're all asking it at home. That feels good. Like, playing around that is potentially the difference between winning and losing this round here. Alright, so my opponent gets to mill 3 cards there, and they will truly go into their graveyard. Oh, and they have a mountain this time, so they actually get their haste in. They have Grist in their list. That's kind of crazy. Okay. Just YOLO play Painter and Grindstone next turn. Or this turn. Probably. I don't think I get to play around, like, second Force of Vigor. Yeah. Painter. Everything's white. Grindstone. Come at me. The cool thing about this situation is I don't even have to try to kill my opponent if I don't feel comfortable doing so. I can just, like, make some constructs for a couple of turns and then, like, kill them when I feel like it's safer. Alright, there is a Hogak in the yard. Opponent has 1 card. Hogak is hasty if it hits play. I'm gonna go ahead and pass here. Okay. My opponent didn't even make me play the mind game here. GG's. Okay. I've kept a hand that has a turn 3 goldfish. I think I'm gonna sandbag the Urza Saga for a while and just play non-wastelandable lands. I'm going to have to double check and see whether or not I have a basic island in the deck list. I legitimately don't remember. Okay, sure. And, like, that information is very relevant to this turn. We do have a basic island. Yep, I believe I will go ahead and just fetch that then. Ooh, are you stifling me? I haven't seen a stifle in a while. You are? Okay. I think I'll slow this game down a little bit then. Not just jam Painter into Daze here. I think I'll just deploy this Shadow Spear and play Painter around Daze next turn. Probably off of Ancient Den. Oh, there's your land drop. So the scary world here is just like, well, okay. Just straight up like blue-black pox going on over here. What is my best line given that information? Is this deck list gonna have Daze too? I'm guessing the finishers are, not Death Shadow, Phyrexian Dreadnought, and then maybe like Gurmag Angler, Murktide Regent, those sorts of things. I think I'm gonna play the Fiddlebender this turn. I don't really want this Painter's Servant to get countered, and the Fiddlebender is annoying enough that, like, it almost certainly gets countered if my opponent does have a counter spell. Okay, Ethereal Forager. So I was on the right track with Delve cards as the threats. This Urza Saga long term probably ends up getting me some sort of mana stability. Murktide. Oh, okay. It is another Ethereal Forager. Which is honestly spooky. There's quite the brew my opponent has going on here. So I play a Painter. Everything's green this time. My opponent is going to get to Sinkhole my Urza's Saga, which isn't great for me. Alright, here comes the Forager. Oh, returning Force of Will. That is very strange to me considering that I have both Painter and Grindstone in play already, so my opponent must have something to answer one of these already. Straight up a Vindicate. I am so surprised that they are, like, allowing me to keep this Urza Saga, which is going to fish up a different permanent later. I guess they just value it destroying itself a lot, given that they have a Sinkhole. For example, if Ancient Tomb was in my deck here, and I just like played Ancient Tomb and then got to make constructs out of this, I think that scenario is actually quite bad for my opponent. I think they just get game 1 here, though. Like, they were on the play with their Or no, I was on the play. But they got their stuff down pretty quickly as far as the land destruction goes. I don't think I would have lost this game if I played around Stifle, but like I obviously was not thinking to do that. It's just like not commonly played right now. All right. I'll float a mana. Yeah. My opponent stifles that. That's annoying. I think I'm going to value my time here and just concede. This one's not over, but it's far enough in my opponent's favor with them having like a force of will and an extra sinkhole coming that I think I'm just going to let that be. But what do I want here? Fairy's not bad. Crucible's good. Full Guide, Lantern, and Ensnaring Bridge aren't crazy. Kind of put those in a maybe pile. I don't think I want Portable Hole. I don't currently think I want Pithing Needle. I could change my mind on that later. Spellskite is awkward, in that it's not something that actively goes towards winning the game on its own. I think I've just got to cut that, despite the fact that it might like save some of my permanents from a Vindicate. I'm going to cut one Master of Ethereum for being slow. Actually, our Aethersworn Canonist just worse. I might want to just keep some of each, though, for, like, Fiddlebender and curve-based reasons. Actually, is Ensnaring Bridge going to do what I want it to do? If there are both Murktide and the Spellbelly Whale thing in here, then the answer is yes, I want that Ensnaring Bridge. I'll keep it. It'll be in my opening hand here to punish me. Okay, it wasn't. That's good. Hand's medium. I'll keep it. I probably have to fetch on turn 1 to play around Stifle. Let's grab a Tundra here. And becomes kind of weird to sequence. Yeah. They love eat. Esper Sentinel is a great pickup. Play around Stifle, get punished by Wasteland. I don't think I'm supposed to get a basic Plains or a basic island on that previous hand, though. Because it makes, like, getting the basic there makes a future sinkhole more likely to cut me off a color of mana, which I don't want because I have both white and blue cards that are important to my hand at this time. Alright, I don't want to play Urza's Saga into Stifle, so I probably play Seat this turn. I think I just play Smith rather than Fiddlebender here. Oh, they're thinking about a Force of Will. Okay, they're going for it. They're just fetching to make sure they can pay the Esper Sentinel tax. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So now we're getting into the reason why I chose to fetch Tundra on turn 1. If this land gets sinkholed right now, I lose so much. Similarly, if this one gets sinkholed, I'm off to Fairy as well. So, like, I wanted the Tundra to play around one sinkhole effect, one Vindicate effect. Okay, that's fine. Alright, this turn's a little awkward. Back in with the Sentinel. Opponent goes to 16. I have to do this. Okay, nice. So given that, I think I am supposed to play a new Ingenious Smith. Do I want a Painter or do I want a land? I think I just want a land. Yeah. Now I play Mox Opal, which grows Ingenious Smith. I only control 2 artifacts. I'll control 3 or 4 next turn. Okay, so this time around I got ahead of the land destruction curve. So I think I'm good for the rest of the game. Sure. Well, that is a kick in the teeth. I mean, thankfully I drew a relevant land that produces mana. Otherwise I would be in trouble. I will take basic here. I will activate this now to get my counter on the Smith. And then I'll crash in for 4. Opponent needs a sweeper. And I am just threatening so much value. At some point, I can Teferi bounce the Stony Silence, but I think I'm just trying to kill my opponent right now. What do we got? Prismatic Ending on what? On the Esper Sentinel, sure. I mean, that leaves stuff in play that kills my opponent. Okay. So I will make a new artifact here. Throw Ingenious Smith. Whatever I get can't be activated right now. Keeping that in mind, I'm just going to do a Soul Guide Lantern and tag this Prismatic Ending so that my opponent can't get it back. I'll play a Tundra here. I will bash in for 8. A Toxic Deluge is now no longer an out to my board. So I'm not sure, yeah. Okay. Knowing about Stony Silence, I can't exactly bring in my Ratchet Bomb to answer it. Guess this is what the Teferis are for. And Portable Hole it away. Probably need to get at least one Portable Hole in here. The Aether Vial gets a little worse if I know about Stony Silence, but it's still very good in the opening hand. I think I'm going to drop my Canonists here, or the 2 Portable Holes to better play around Stony Silence. Makes my 2-drop slot a little soft in that, like, I might have to weld away a Painter Servant, or Fiddlebend away a Painter Servant. I'm going to go down on Emry. I think I will just play 1 Emry to preserve a 2-drop that I can just bend away. My opponent really does not like my Esper Sentinels. I mean, given what I was just saying, I think I keep this hand. It's a hand that can combo. I am unsure how quickly I would actually want to go for the combo, though. Oh, you have cantrips in there. Okay, ultimately there was no shuffle on that Ponder. Oh, baby. I think I could write a graduate thesis on how weird this turn is to play, with Stony Silence being the thing that, like, really impacts this hand. I think I'm going to ignore Stony Silence here and play the thing that's best if my opponent does not have the Stony Silence. Like, if they have Stony Silence, this hand is crippled, but if they don't, having this Aether Vial in play so I can, like, do uncounterable Esper Sentinel and Oswald Fiddlebender without and allowing me to open up my mana to Urza Saga is just so absolutely huge. Okay. What do you got? Fuck me. Alright. Cool. Yep, so this is the punish for the line that I took, and I said that ahead of time, because now I can't do a 2-drop play this turn. It's okay. Like, it's bad, but this isn't game over by any stretch of the imagination. When the land destruction cart starts coming in as well, things will get a little rough, yeah. Okay. That's disappointing. Hopefully my Esper Sentinel doesn't hit like a prismatic ending here. I really need to draw some more cards. Okay, it's the whale. I will tick this up to 2. Do I play out this Urza Saga so that if I rip another land in the next 2 turns, I can play something? I think so, but it's close. Stony Silence is a little niche right now, but my opponent presumably has multiple copies if they've, like, found it these early in these games. Such is life. I'm dead. Okay. Genius Smith, unfortunately, is a human as well. I think I'm going to concede after my next draw step. I just don't think I'm going to get to, like, a Teferi here to, like, bounce Stony Silence. And even if I do, I can't just, like, easily win in 1 turn. I can't deploy the cards in my hand to just hide behind Ensnaring Bridge. About to get wastelanded. Ugh. Yep. Alright. I think I'm going to throw in the towel here. Like, I could spend 5 more minutes trying to wiggle my way out of this spot, but I think my opponent is like 95% to win the game from this position. GG's. Okay, I'm going to keep this hand. The biggest thing I'm going to have to figure out is, like, whether or not I want to attempt to play around Wasteland this game or not. Like, whether or not I get a Plains or a Tundra on turn 1 is kind of the biggest decision point of how this hand plays out. Against Volcanic Island, I will probably grab a Plains. Ooh. I have a turn 3 Goldfish hand if I want to go for it. I don't think I want to go for it, though. Don't stifle me. I said don't stifle me! You can't stifle me after I say don't stifle me. What the fuck is this league? God damn. Alright. This meta has changed. All stifles all the time. Fuck. I think I'm going to set up to attempt to make a 1/1 to block this. Please don't wasteland me. It could get weird if my opponent, like, finds one of my combo pieces. Lost a Tundra from my deck. Oh, what is this? Okay. Sure. Land, please? Nope. This game's more or less over at this point. This is just unchecked Ragavan versus deck that has no real mana in play. I can get a Mox with Urza's Saga, but I won't have the artifact count to turn it on. I'm super dead here. Alright, Ingenious Smith. I don't even know if my opponent wants... Oh, that grows every time my opponent gets a fucking treasure token. Fuck this card. I hope this card is banned by the time this video goes live. Alright. Oh, they don't even have to use their treasure token to cast it. Classic. I think I'm going to concede if I missed a land drop here. This is a miserable gameplay experience time, but not I am 100% dead time. Which is what it is. Is Aether Vial better than Mox Opal? Aether Vial might be better than Mox Opal here. Get Vial. I think I have to attempt to remove this Ragavan. I think Portable Hole around Days is better than anything else I can do. Alright. Please don't have Second Monkey. They also just could, like, fucking stifle this trigger. God damn it. God damn it. This is awful. Sure. I'll take 3 here. Go to 12. Ugh. Yep. I just need to draw land. Sure. I need my opponent not to find Prismatic Ending here now. Arctide Region is also a disaster. Okay. Well. So basically, I need to hit land drop into land drop. One has enough mana to easily pay for Esper Sentinel. I take 7, 8, 9, 10, then die the following turn. I only get 1. Okay. Alright, I have one line that wins the game still. So many things have to go right for it to happen. So, I activate this. Yes. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I'm dead. Cool, good game. Alright, I want another portable hole here. I probably want Teferis to bounce Ragavans. I probably want Ensnaring Bridge and Crucible of Worlds for the long game. That's probably it. I'll probably junk Pithing Needle here. Probably junk my cannon. I will junk at least 2 Canonists here. I'm not sure about the third. I think I'll junk 1 Master of Ethereum. I'll junk 1 more Canonist. Okay, how is this hand? It has a lot of mana. I suppose I'll keep it. Do I just do Urza Saga on turn 1, or do I fetch on turn 1 around Stifle? I think I'll Urza Saga on turn 1. Working towards an Aether Vial, which is something that will probably help, because I'm probably going to dedicate my next couple turns to activating Urza Saga, if I have the opportunity to. Sure. Alright. Gonna play out a Ragavan. Gonna Prismatic Ending something. Maybe I shouldn't have played out the Mox Opal. Oh, okay, well. I guess this takes me off of Metalcraft as well. That's slightly awkward for me. Do I want to fetch, or do I want to work towards Metalcraft by playing Ancient Den? I think I just want to fetch. I need access to blue. This is an awful game of play around one thing and get punished by the other. I get so punished by a Wasteland now for fetching. God damn it. Yeah. I need the Tundra. Okay. Alright. Float my colorless mana. It's my plan to fish out this Aether Vial. I'm gonna grab Shadow Spear. It's just very awkward. Right. Play Aether Vial with the floating mana. Okay, we've forced a Brainstorm. I don't actually have that many 3-drops in the deck. I have 1 more Master of Ethereum and 2 Emrys. I really don't want to tick the Vial up to 3 to play a Master of Ethereum. I might end up doing it. but I don't want to. Alright, is Vial resolving? No. Alright, what do you got for me? Not Ragavan yet. It's a prismatic ending. That's frustrating. Just all in all, very, very frustrating round of Magic here. Of course, I can get a new Opal off of my Urza's Saga, which will turn on Metalcraft. I think I'm facing a Murktide Regent here. I'm just going to lose the game in 2 turns and get finished by Lightning Bolt. Alright. Float the mana. Pick up Mox Opal. 1, 2, 3. This will be a 4/4. I don't think it needs to be a 5/5. Probably more important to do this. Play the Master. Okay, it's a 4/4. I can get this with lifelink, or an Urza Saga with lifelink, and undo a lot of this damage. The thing is that if I go for an equip and my opponent has Swords to Plowshares, I'm just so utterly dead. 5/5. Turn this into a 6/6, and potentially put Murktide Regent on the defensive next turn. So it's a question of, like, do I want to play around Red Source and Lightning Bolt that kills me next turn? Or do I want to play around a Swords to Plowshares? I think I want to play around Swords to Plowshares. Let's crash in. After no blocks, I'll turn this into a 6/6 and hit my opponent down to 13. So I'm threatening lethal damage next turn. Cool. I can't catch a break today. So, like, now these Ancient Dens don't have real text. And I can't make this other construct token that I was kind of counting on to be able to attack through the Murktide. I hopefully can attack through the Murktide anyway. Alright, doesn't matter too much what I pick up. They all do nothing. I will go land into Grindstone. I believe I just attack with the 9/9. I don't think I want to trade here. I will still be dead to Red Source Lightning Bolt. Swords to Plowshares is still really bad, because my opponent can Swords to Plowshares this, then block trade with this. I have, like, 1 mana source versus their board. Okay. I feel like that was the wrong choice for them, but whatever. Sure. Like, it seems to me like they can find a new threat faster than I can, given that I am on a single land and, like, Urza Saga isn't live currently. Alright. That's a dead draw. And this is why I thought my opponent was going to make the trade previously. I just have so many dead draws. Okay. Opponent has red mana now. That's a dead draw. Sure. Prismatic Ending for X equals 3 on Master of Ethereum is now open. I think my opponent has a Force of Will given that play. Cool. Are we just going to play another turn of draw go, or do you have something? It's probably a Prismatic Ending. Yeah. Alright, cool. I'll eat 8 here, go to 12. Perfect. Alright. I'm just going to concede. That is what it is. Hey, if you made it this far in the video, it's pretty obvious that you're enjoying my content. Consider doing something to help me, whether it's something as small as leaving a like or subscribing to my channel, or doing something cool like doing a donation deck list, or even cooler, a dealer's choice donation deck list. Just saying, I get to do shenanigans every time that happens. Okay, back to the show. Okay, Den Petal Opal means I have 2 mana on turn 1. Technically 3 if I want to burn the petal. I think this hand is going to be a keep. I believe I'm just going to play a Canonist on 1. I just, like, there's other lines. I can get super aggressive by playing a Master of Ethereum on turn 1, for example. But the thing that stops me from dying to a random combo deck is probably better. And I don't think I'm going to play either Grindstone or Retrofitter Foundry on turn 1. Okay, Cycle Street Wraith. We could be playing against Doomsday or Death Shadow here. Either way, I think I value my getting Master of Ethereum into play next turn more than I value playing out either a Retrofitter Foundry or a Grindstone this turn. Yeah, it is looking an awful lot like Doomsday over there. I'm gonna attack for 2. Puts opponent to 16, and now I have a real decision. The Daze is kind of the thing that makes this turn hard. think I'm not going to play around days here. This is the thing that kills my opponent the largest proportion of the time after a Doomsday resolves. I could play Fiddlebender and work towards a line where I get Painter and Grindstone since I have the Grindstone already, but that is slightly awkward in terms of like my mana development and a little slow. So I think I just want, with this 3/3 into play, that I can grow into a 5/5 and then like be threatening lethal very quickly. Okay, we're seeing movement from my opponent. What do you have? The days is awkward for them here, because like getting set back the land matters a lot right now. Straight up a fetch to thin? Okay. Oh, yeah, my opponent's gonna die if they cast Doomsday here. I just play... Like, I have 7 power right now. They're gonna go to 7 life. They certainly can't win through a Canonist this turn. I don't understand. They played Scalding Tarn. They would need something like Lotus Petal plus Source of Plowshares in order to like not be dead here. Yeah, like I'll cast. Yeah. Okay. All Breachers fine. The Fairies fine. Torpor Orb is very, very, very actively good. It shuts off the Thassa's Oracle trigger, making my Oswald Fiddlebenders very good in this matchup. I probably don't need Portable Hole here. Pithing Needle is weak most of the time. There's some fringe things that it can do. Shadow Spear is weak most of the time. Still leaves me with a couple assorted Urza Saga targets. Spellskite can probably go. And then one of my top-end cards of some nature gets boarded out since I'm bringing in 3 expensive cards. Genius Smith helps to look for Torpor Orb, but it's a slower threat than a lot of the other things. Board out an Emry. Emry milling my Torpor Orb. Well, I guess Emry finding the Torpor Orb is the other way to look at that. I'm not sure on this last cut. It could also just like be a Grindstone, but I probably want to keep my highest density of goldfish things. I'll junk an Emry. Emry is more for when you need to grind than anything else. I don't think this hand is functional. I have good cards, but not the mana to support them. I will just mulligan this for a hand that's safer. What about this one? This is fine. This gets a Torpor Orb pretty quickly. I'll throw back a Retrofitter Foundry here. So this has turn 3 protection from Doomsday, with a turn 1 play that maybe draws me some cards. We'll see if my opponent just has everything here. Okay, that's fine. It's the turn 2 Doomsday that also goes off in the same turn that's actually scary. Okay, so the big question here is, does my opponent know to take Oswald Fiddlebender? They do not. So they have left me with the best card in my hand. Well, actually, the Grindstones are annoying for my opponent as well, right? Because they mess up Doomsday piles or threaten to mess up Doomsday piles. So we'll see. My opponent has the turn 2. I guess turn 3 and win on their own turn 3 works as well, right? I won't be able to activate Oswald Fiddlebender. Okay. Alright, I've gotten a card. It's not a relevant card. I can absolutely die to a Doomsday pile here. Requires some pretty specific things to be in my opponent's hand, though. But they left the Underground Sea open. So, for example, if a Consider is in their hand right now, or a Cycler is in their hand right now, I can just be dead. Okay. Am I going to die this turn? At a glance, I don't see the Consider, so that's presumably in the pile somewhere. Okay, yeah. Okay, so they're going to cast a cantrip, crack LED in response, and then, yeah, there's multiple pretty easy lines that win from here. So, I'd like to just point to the number of cards that are currently in my opponent's deck. My opponent needed to build that pile with a Street Wraith so that they could get 1 card deeper, and that not happen. Okay. We're 2-2. Okay. Yeah. Alright. I'm going to keep this hand. It has a turn 3 goldfish if I draw a land in 3 draws. That's fine. I would like to just have a reasonable game of Magic to round out this league. Winning to my opponent not counting to 5 correctly is not the way that I want this to go. I think my wish is going to be denied. We're going to play against a fast combo deck and just get got. Oh! Well, shit, no, never mind. This is fine. Absolutely respect playing against some sort of, like, mono black helm deck. That's totally cool with me. Okay, Seat, Grindstone, Opal is on. I can't do anything with Opal mana. Let's not... Wait, hold on. I can. Horrible Hole actually has a target for once. Seat, Grindstone, Opal, Hole. Yes. Seat, Grindstone, Opal, Hole. Brew versus brew. I'm comfortable with where we're at. So I'm going to be the one doing unfair things. I'm not sure how quickly I want to go off, because it looks like my opponent might be playing 2-card Monty, now that I see Thespian stage. Oh, alright. So, I play Painter Servant, and my opponent is more controlling than they look, and they just like play an Edict or a Lily or something. I lose the Painter Servant, and I lose my ability to combo off quickly. But I think I just want my opponent dead. Accordingly, I will just play a Painter Servant. What are we feeling? Yeah, I think I'd like everything to have a red tinge here. It just feels right. Okay. Putting the Painter in play was good. We played around the Thoughtseize. I wasn't actively thinking about that, but like that's something that absolutely should be in my opponent's deck. Okay, there's a concession point. So, we're probably playing against a 2-card Monty deck, which is going to have, like, Leyline, Douthie, Voidwalker, Helm, Stage Depths, Hexmage Depths. Like, basically, I want Pithing Needles. This is good. Teferi generically is probably good. Portable Hole is sometimes good, sometimes bad. Ensnaring Bridge is very good, specifically against Merit Lodge. Ratchet Bomb does stuff. I don't know that I want it. There's a lot of collateral damage. And some of the stuff that I want to blow up is pretty expensive. I don't want Felskite. Shadow Spear can put me over 20 life. Don't think I need Retrofitter Foundry. Canonists are probably weak. Masters are probably slow. Oh, my opponent might be a Dark Ritual deck. Like, there's that. Maybe I do a split and just, like, keep another 2-drop that I can Fiddlebend into. Go down 1 Master. Actually, no, I should go down the Emrys, because they're graveyard-focused. Then keep 1 more Canonist. Yes. How good is a fair plan versus my opponent? Turn 1 Esper Sentinel, turn 2 Canonist, turn 3 start activating Urza Saga. I don't know how aggressively I'm supposed to just, like, mulligan for a hand that, like, combo finishes, but... Or a hand that doesn't combo finish, this is fine, and I also, like, have some protection from a Merit Lodge. I'm a little soft to Thoughtseize for my liking with this hand. Alright, what are you doing? Passing the turn. Okay, this hand became very good with that draw, I think. Alright, land Esper Sentinel. Alright, it's resolved. Let's see what my opponent has going on. Yep. Here's the fetch. Expected land is expected. And a Bob. Sure. Okay, more Urza Saga. So I will play this land. I'll play this prior to attacks, and then I'll attack for 1. Absolutely would be fine making this trade here. Bob's really good. Alright, a Douthie Voidwalker. Okay, there's a Dark Depths. I believe I will be holding up this Caracas that is currently in my hand next turn. Oh, that is spooky. Now my Caracas becomes much worse. Oh, that's a kick in the butt. Play a Lotus Petal no matter what. I can get a Pithing Needle next turn and play the guessing game. Actually, I can Pithing Needle Sylvan Safekeeper next turn. Okay, before I do anything, I think I'm going to make my attacks. I don't think my opponent is blocking either one of these, but I've been wrong before. I think I just play another Urza's Saga here. to work towards more pithing needles. Opponent found a lotus petal with Bob. I'm favored here, but this situation is absolutely scary. Okay. I can has card. Oh, I got a painter. Hello. Hello. That is mighty interesting. Get Grindstone, 2 to cast, play land, 3 to activate. Short of an Abrupt Decay type spell, I can just try to kill my opponent. Yeah, I have an active Urza Saga. Don't think you want to attack. Alright, activate. This turn became so incredibly difficult. Once I got that painter draw. I think I do get the Grindstone here. Alright, so... Ooh. If opponent casts their crop rotation here or something, then I combo with 100% certainty. Okay, they do. It is insane how many different lines I have this turn that all put me incredibly far ahead. So now my opponent copies that. Yep. Alternatively, I can just bounce the Merit Lodge and play around my opponent having like a bullshit Eldrazi in their deck for some reason. I don't think I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. That is the correct amount of mana I need. All right, I have double checked myself. I'm just going to kill my opponent. Grindstone. 2 mana. Painter. I regret my line. I just figured out something that I lose to. Fuck. Everything's white. Fuck. All right. Yeah, there's... Oh no, I don't lose to it because my opponent already cast a spell and a Canonist is in play. Okay, nope, I'm fine. Okay, cool. I guess I technically lost to upkeep Endurance, put cards into my own deck, or their own deck, right? I think it was safer to just like grab Pithing Needle, bounce, and then just play a slower game. I think I fucked up that turn. Like, it won, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not supposed to play around upkeep Endurance. Maybe that's too fringe. No, I probably just win that game as it goes longer anyway. No, I should have just grabbed Pithing Needle, the Safekeeper, Caracas, Merit Lodge, and then just like attack for 6 and kill my opponent the following turn instead. Yeah, I think I like that. Overall thoughts on the deck list? Pretty good. I think Emry didn't get a good showing this league. That's okay. Master of Ethereum was pretty respectable. I really liked having access to the Aether Vial as a bullet, as weird as that was. I really liked the Teferis out of the sideboard, and I boarded in the Hull Breacher multiple times. I don't know if this is the best version of Painter, but I had so many options for what was going on versus my my opponents. We're randomly bad versus Stifle, but that is not a commonly played card right now. We just like queued into it twice in a row, kind of like when I played the Modern Guild Gates deck, I just queued into a bunch of Blood Moons. But I think this deck has a lot of potential, and if you're a Painter fan, consider trying it out. Anyway, if you made it this far in the video and you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. It's one of the easiest ways to support my content for free, along with throwing likes on the videos. If you're really enjoying what I'm doing, consider becoming a YouTube member or doing a donation deck list to support my content. Have a great rest of the day, folks. See ya!